Happy anniversary to the Noiseberry Games JaRDev YouTube channel. That's right, it has been 10 years since Robbie and I started this channel. Crazy. As you can see, we've spared absolutely no expense with our blowers and our hats. Yes, maybe you can see my hat there. So yeah, it's been 10 years since this channel first started, and as a celebratory video, I've created a sort of documentary style video on the history of the channel. It's a bit more of like a casual documentary, but it should still be very enjoyable, so please enjoy the video. It's going to go over the entire history of the channel, when it started back in 2013, all the way up until just about the present. There's going to be a couple of special guests in the video, so look out for them. So without any further ado, please enjoy the video. You really can't talk about the history of this channel without starting with Robbie, so that's where we're going to start this video. I moved from the UK to Canada with my family when I was 9 years old. And when we arrived here, I made friends with a couple of other British guys who were the same age as me. And we became a close group of friends, and they introduced me to a non-British guy called Robbie. And so the other two British friends eventually drifted away, but Robbie and I remained best friends all the way through high school, university, and still today. Growing up in the UK, I didn't play many video games really, but when I moved here and became friends with Robbie, Robbie had a lot of very cool video games, and I remember many summers spent cycling over to his house and playing hours of GameCube games like Super Smash Bros. Melee, Star Fox Assault, Kirby Air Ride, Four Swords Adventure, and we played lots of different video games together until eventually the game that took the world by storm, Minecraft, came out. I think I only got into Minecraft around the beta phase. I think Robbie had it in alpha but didn't play it too much until we started playing it with a group of friends at high school, and after that we were just hooked. We were hooked on this Minecraft game that was, like I said, taking the world by storm at this point. We played together, just the two of us. We played on servers with other friends. We eventually got into private servers with mini games. Games like Minecraft survival games, which was basically the Hunger Games in Minecraft. We played a lot of Minecraft. And eventually we found this video on YouTube from a channel called Syndicate, and the YouTube video was called Amazing Minecraft Event. And in it, there was this rare event that happened in Syndicate's world, which kind of destroyed the building he was working on, or a house or something. There was fire everywhere, and eventually it led him to this massive city. And I think he claimed it was like a 1 in 16,000 or 40,000 chance that this randomly happens in your Minecraft world or something. And obviously it turned out to be a spoof, a scripted kind of thing, not malicious at all. But back then, I think this must have been 2011, 2012. I think early 2012 is when we saw it. It was a little bit harder to verify these kinds of things on the internet, I think. And maybe we also wanted to believe that something this cool could happen in this game that we were playing so much of. So we really enjoyed that video. That was a pretty important video to us, I think. Because after seeing that video, I searched around for similar stuff, and I stumbled across this Minecraft series on YouTube called Shadow of Israfel from the Yogscast, which I guess predates the Syndicate video, but I didn't find it until after the Syndicate video. But Shadow of Israfel was a very, very scripted Minecraft series, and I just fell totally in love with this Yogscast channel. Started subscribing to all the different offshoots of the Yogscast channel, and I think the Yogscast are definitely the main reason that I wanted to start doing YouTube. And at this time, Robbie and I were playing Minecraft in the same room. He would play on, I think, his gaming laptop, and I would play on his gaming PC. And we would just play Minecraft together, just loads and loads. And I think we were pretty funny. We laughed a lot about a lot of things at that time. And in 2012, for Christmas, I got my first gaming PC myself. And I was watching a ton of Yogscast at this point, and Robbie and I asked each other, why can't we have a go? Why shouldn't we have a go at doing this YouTube thing? And so on my new gaming PC, I had a copy of Fraps, I had an old copy of Sony Vegas to edit the videos, and we decided to give it a go. We recorded a little bit of test footage in Chivalry, and then in February 2013, we created the channel on YouTube. We called it JaRDev. It's obviously not called JaRDev anymore, We'll get to that later, but at the time we wanted it to be John and Robbie's channel, so the JAR and JaRDev stood for John and Robbie. So we started the channel, we created the channel on February 19th, 2013. We uploaded our first video, and I think now is a very good time to hear from Robbie.
Hey, you might remember me. It's been a little while since I've been around, but I've also been around for a little while. And by that I mean I put the R in JaRDev, and I've been around since the beginning of the channel. And that was a long time ago. That was 10 whole years ago, and I can't honestly believe it when I think about it. It's crazy to me. You know, we started out just playing games in my basement, and then all of a sudden you got the idea that we should maybe do something, you know, on YouTube, because we had so much fun playing games together all the time. And you were watching these guys, Yogscast, all the time, and seeing how much fun they had and the content you're putting out, and you loved it, and you thought, you know, people might like what we do too, because we're pretty cool guys, I think. Totally not biased. And yeah, it just, you know, like from playing Minecraft together, doing all sorts of stuff, to eventually you starting out with Don't Starve, and then we playing Don't Starve together, and the channel just kind of took off from there, and it was honestly really awesome. You know, obviously you and I started before the channel. We've been together almost 20 whole years. Holy crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's just been awesome every time we play games together and record things. It's so great. And honestly, if I have to pick what's been my favorite memory of the channel, and what my favorite video is, it's so hard for me to talk about, because there's just so many fun times. Like every time we record, you know, there were obviously a couple here and there where things were frustrated or not that fun or whatever, like one-off things, but 99% of the time, every time we've recorded anything, it's just like super duper fun. And so picking a favorite is really hard, but like I really loved our Vanillish series in Minecraft, some of the other Minecraft things that we did way back in the day, and then honestly, like even some of the like puzzle platformer games that we did, like Ibn Ob.
Wait, no! Oh, fucking idiot, John!
Just do it again, you stupid twat!
We could have done it from there, you
Well,
fucking idiot!
maybe you shouldn't have been such a bitch.
I loved Ibn Ob, even though you did not want to explore and collect all the collectibles like I did. I still loved it. It was so good. Some of the things I didn't love were some of the horror things, because playing horror games, not my jam. Not my jam even a little bit, but it was still fun. I still enjoyed it. The one thing that really comes to mind when I think about one of my favorite memories, though, on the channel is you and I were playing Minecraft, and we're in the desert. And it went a little something like this. In the desert, the mighty desert, the Enderman sleeps tonight. And then you kind of chimed in with something too. And I went again. In the desert, the mighty desert, the Enderman sleeps tonight. And you also chimed in again. And then I shocked both of us by then leading into a wee. In the desert, the mighty desert, the Enderman sleeps tonight. In the desert, the mighty desert, the Enderman sleeps today. A wee. You interrupted my song. I was singing beautifully. Oh my God. You interrupted me.
Oh.
I was having the most joyous of times. And
Fucking hell.
in hindsight, that and also what I just did were horribly embarrassing, but just like really, really fun and funny to me. So like that is like the top, you know. It basically it helps remind me rather of all of the fun times that we have and all the silly and stupid things that we do when we play games together, and it's just always so much fun to me. So basically now any recording that you and I do together when we play like a co-op game together, I just have so much fun. It's always a joy to me. And I know I'm not nearly as active as you are in the channel, obviously, anymore, and haven't been for a long time. But whenever you invite me back to the channel to be on it, I just have so much fun because it's just always such a great time. And I really, want to thank you for that. It's been 10 years, and that is incredible. That's awesome. It's a milestone, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of you. And I think you should also be proud because it's incredible.
So as Robbie mentioned, our very first video was an episode of Trine 2 on February 19th, 2013. Okay.
I don't know how we choose characters.
Once upon a time, there were 3 valiant heroes chosen by a magical artifact called the Trine.
Oh. It was a bit of a strange choice to start the channel with. I don't know why we didn't just jump into Minecraft, because after those first couple of Trine videos, it was all Minecraft for a long time. I'm not sure why we didn't start with Minecraft. But mere days later, February 23rd, 2013, we uploaded our very first Minecraft video, which was us playing through an adventure map created by Hypixel called Herobrine's Mansion. And Minecraft adventure maps were perfect for us when we were just starting out. We were very new to YouTube. We weren't doing intros or anything. We were really just playing games together, and we happened to be recording. We weren't trying to be entertaining or anything, I don't think, at the very start. And so playing these adventure maps that were very self-contained, you could get through them in a couple of hours, and bam, you've got like 6 episodes. And they were all directed, I guess, that they told the story for us, and we just kind of went along with it, which was perfect for us when we were just starting out. So we uploaded a ton of Minecraft videos until March 29th, 2013, which is when I uploaded my very first solo video. This was an episode of me playing Limbo. Hey guys, John here, and welcome to JaRDev. Today I'm by myself, no Robbie here, and I'm going to start playing Limbo. And it's very strange to see this solo video so early in the channel's history. Obviously, nowadays and for the last several years, I've done a ton of solo videos. But I always thought that my solo ventures started a lot later into the channel's history. But no, it started like a month and 10 days after we started the channel, which always surprises me when I go back and see that. A couple of days later, we uploaded the first episode of our first non-scripted Minecraft series, I guess, or non-adventure map Minecraft series. This was just us playing survival Minecraft.
Hey guys, welcome back to JaRDev. Today, John and I are playing Vanillish Minecraft.
Vanillish Minecraft. We called it Vanillish Minecraft because it was basically just vanilla Minecraft, but with I think like 2 quality of life mods. And I think this was, we both really liked this series. I think obviously it's probably a bit tough to get through nowadays, but we're still quite proud of this series. But it was also a very important one for us because, like I said, up to this point we were just doing adventure maps, which told the story for us. This series was just survival, no adventure map in it. We had to make the story and make the entertainment ourselves. So it was really a whole new world for us, and it was a good challenge for us. Shortly after, on April 12th, 2013, I uploaded the first episode of my second solo series, which was a full playthrough of Skyrim. Hey guys, welcome to JaRDev. It's me, John, just by myself again today. And today we're playing, you've guessed it, Skyrim. At this point, April 2013, Skyrim had actually only been out for a year and a half, which seems kind of crazy, but I know a YouTuber I watched a lot back then, Sips, was doing a really long form Skyrim series, and I absolutely loved that, so I just wanted to do my own. And I don't think it's a great series, I really don't, but it's notable because I let it run for a very, very long time. I think something like 60 episodes. We'll have a look at it when it ends at some point. On April 25th, 2013, I posted the very first Don't Starve video on the channel. Hey guys, welcome to JaRDev, and welcome to a brand new series in which I, John, play Don't Starve. It was just me doing a playthrough of Don't Starve using just a character I wanted to play as, but obviously Don't Starve is very important to the history of this channel as well, so it's just fun to see that it started off very, very inauspiciously, just me doing a little playthrough. And we kind of settled into a pretty solid schedule at this time. We kind of alternated between me doing a solo video, or me doing 2 solo videos, and Robbie and I doing Minecraft together, pretty much. And on May 31st, 2013, we uploaded the 30th episode of our Vanillish Minecraft series.
Is that fire over there?
What the fuck is that? What? Where am I at? What?
Oh my god.
This was a big video for us. We wanted it to be the end of season 1 of our Minecraft series, because we'd done enough survival at this point. We beat the story mode of Minecraft, not that there is much, but we did it in this video. But more importantly, at the end of the video, we tried our hand at doing a scripted segment, very similar to something like Shadow of Israfel. And it was super fun to brainstorm how we would do this together. It was really fun to go into our survival map in like creative mode and place fire and stuff like that and build a spaceship. It was super fun, another big challenge for us to do something scripted, but I love the ending of that episode. And then just under a month later, we uploaded the 31st episode of Vanillish Minecraft, which was really episode 1 of season 2. It was us in a big mod pack, and it was supposed to be the continuation of what happened after the scripted event at the end of our last episode. And I remember we worked really hard on doing more scripted stuff kind of thing, and for some reason there was never an episode 32 or an episode 2 of season 2. We didn't do anything after this video. I don't really remember why. I remember it took a lot of work to get it to work, and once we got set up in the world for our next series, we just didn't go back to it, and I really can't remember why. On August 4th, 2013, I posted my very first Dark Souls video.
Oh, fuck. Oh god, why? Why?
Another very inauspicious start for a game that would become incredibly important to this channel's history. Obviously that won't be for a while, not until about 2016 as it becomes really important. But just funny again that something so important started off so early in the channel's history. August 2013, the channel had only been going for 5.5 months at this point. And then on September 2nd, 2013, after 63 incredible episodes, the Skyrim series came to a close. I think I was obviously enjoying recording it a lot, to do 63 videos on it, but I think I vaguely remember when I finished recording the final segment, there was still stuff I could do in the game, but I finished that last session, and I just thought to myself, I don't need to do this anymore. So I just recorded like a very quick voiceover at the end saying something like, oh, this is the last episode, I'm done with the series now, bye. Just crazy. That's got to be one of the longest series on the channel, 63 videos. A very important event for the channel was September 15th, 2013, when I posted the very first Don't Starve mod spotlight.
Hello and welcome back to Don't Starve.
I didn't know how important this video was going to be at the time, obviously, but looking back on it, man, that really kicked off getting a lot of subscribers. It's not the most viewed Don't Starve mod spotlight, but it's definitely up there. At the time of recording this, it has 314,000 views, which it definitely makes it one of my most viewed videos on YouTube. And it's funny looking back at that one. Future mod spotlights, I would just get in the game, show off the mod, and that was it. Just very quick and to the point. So a lot of the mod spotlights were like 4 minutes or something. But this one was 11 minutes for some reason. It definitely wasn't the format that became standard after a while, but yeah, just a funny start to another important series for the channel. October 8th, 2013 was a big milestone for the channel. We hit 100 subscribers. I remember we kind of got up to 30 subscribers fairly quickly, but it was that was mostly just people we knew in real life. So even 30 subscribers didn't actually translate to many views at all. Most videos would get like 2 to 6 views. But after the Don't Starve mod spotlights took off, the subscribers really started rolling in. It still wasn't instant, like you can see only 100 subscribers at this point, but they really started to roll in after a while. And at this point I was pumping out so many videos. I was doing solo series on the side, I was doing a ton of Don't Starve mod spotlights. But through it all, me trying lots of different stuff, the one constant was Robbie and I would always play Minecraft together. And we loved doing Minecraft videos. And I don't think they were as popular as a lot of other videos, but we had so much fun playing Minecraft together. And then a hugely pivotal moment for the channel came on November 21st, 2013, which is when I uploaded my very first collaborative video, where I played a game with some other YouTubers. There was one other YouTuber doing Don't Starve mod spotlights on YouTube, and his name was GRN Celery Stick. He was also Canadian, and he reached out to me one day, because I used to frequent the Let's Play subreddit, which was a great place to learn tricks of the trade as a new YouTuber. It was very helpful for me back then. And I know Celery Stick also posted on there quite a bit, so he reached out to me and said he'd seen me on there, he knew what kind of videos I did, and he said that he knew 2 other YouTubers, and would I like to come play a game with them? And I was a bit nervous, but I said, sure, let's do it. And Celery said that one of the other YouTubers had been given review codes for a game, and the game was Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army 2, which is one we ended up playing together. And I was blown away that you could get review codes for a game. Crazy. So I played this game with Celery Stick, another YouTuber called Pierogi, and Jimmy Plays. Longtime viewers might recognize the name Jimmy Plays, Jimmy Brinio, Jimsplosions. The other 2 YouTubers drifted away, but Jimmy and I became good friends on YouTube. All thanks to Celery Stick reaching out and asking if I wanted to play this game with these other 2 people. I haven't talked to Jimmy for several years now, but I still have him on Steam. I see him come online and play CSGO, because I think that's still all he plays. But yeah, that video, doing a collaborative video, was a big step for me, but I'm so glad I did it, because it's led to meeting more very, very cool people. On November 25th, 2013, I posted my very first John's Watch video. It wasn't a proper John's Watch. This one was titled John's Watch Begins. It was just me playing a game I'd bought on the Steam sale called Sir, You Are Being Hunted. But soon after that, I would start getting review codes for games and would launch what's definitely the longest series, if you can call it that, on the channel, where I've now got, I think, close to 800 of these John's Watch review videos. So Pierogi stopped making YouTube videos shortly after we did our collaboration, and myself, Jimmy, and Celery recorded a few videos together for a while, and we started recording a podcast, which was just over an hour, just kind of us chatting a bunch about video games. And for our second podcast episode, we invited a guest called Harry Tomlomsom.
Wow, this really is a safe spot from basically everything.
Who still streams to this day. I think he goes by Harold Television now on Twitch. I'm still a member of his Discord. I used to be able to watch his streams a lot. I don't anymore, because I'm just busy with work pretty much. But just crazy that someone I was still talking to like fairly regularly a year ago, I first met in February 2014. On March 22nd, 2014, I uploaded the 100th Don't Starve mod spotlight. I remember the mod wasn't anything special, it was just a very niche one called Brighter Lighter, but just crazy that I started doing them in September 2013, I think it was, and by March 2014, I'd done 100 of those videos. I was really pumping them out. I was doing a couple a day, honestly. By autumn of 2014, both Celery Stick and Harry had stopped making videos on YouTube. So for a while there, it was just myself, Robbie, and Jimmy making videos together, and we still tried to do the podcast together, where we'd bring on a 4th new guest every episode. But we were definitely noticing that 4-player games were a lot more common than 3-player games, so we were pretty keen to get a regular 4th person for our group. And in October of 2014, Jimmy reached out and said that he'd found another YouTuber through the Let's Play subreddit, who was going by the name Fitzcret. And I checked out Fitz's channel, and I really liked what I saw, so we decided to invite Fitz to play Interstellar Marines with us. And I think we only did about 4 episodes on the game, but we kind of clicked really well with Fitz. And he doesn't go by the name FitzCred anymore, he changed it eventually to FitzGG, and maybe another name change in there, I can't quite remember, but now goes by the name Whiskey Mongoose. And he really did become such a staple of the channel, so let's hear from Whiskey right now.
It was back in October 2014. I contacted Jimmy Barinhio on Reddit, on the subreddit of Let's Play, to do a collab on Interstellar Marines. And pretty much like after, he found 2 other people to do this collab, and that was you and Robbie. Hands down, it has to be GTA 5 online heists.
Something's wrong, I can feel it. Smell like a bitch.
Smell like a bitch.
Because we did so many shenanigans, and it was like the born of the Machete Murderer.
Ah, you fuckhead! It's the Machete guy! Oh. Come in, quick! We're gonna go on vacation! Ah, he's in!
I think Shitty Murderer is coming up.
So, what do you do for a living, Mr. Machete Murderer?
I murder people.
Oh, okay. Do you have like a favorite method or something?
Machete.
Fuck you!
Oh god, I got hit by the car.
I smashed my head right on the... No!
Justice.
And you know, just like stuff like that made it like an incredible moment. You know, we were the same team that we did the collab for Interstellar Marines, and dude, it was such a blast. You know what's funny? You do so many videos that are related to games, but I think my favorite one is the one that you did, the Bob Ross No Pause MS Paint Challenge.
It's not like traditional paints.
There we go. Neither is this, Bob.
Just vary the colors. Just work in layers.
I fucking hate my barn so much.
I don't know, for some reason it's like one of the best thing. Maybe it's because you're out of your comfort zone, that is, you know, video games, and you're just like trying your best to do something in MS Paint. I don't know, it's just too funny.
So like I said, Whiskey fit in really well with myself, Robbie, and Jimmy, and we started playing more and more games together. For Halloween 2014, the 4 of us played a hilariously buggy game called Damned.
Father, what are you doing in the female toilets, you
Shit,
pervert?
stop pushing me.
Ah! I'm dead. I didn't even see anything.
Just an excellent horror game. It was so janky, Robbie had a miserable time, but the 4 of us returned to it, I think, for like 3 Halloweens in a row. It became another staple of the channel, The Damned. On January 2nd, 2015, I uploaded the first episode of my Dark Souls 2 solo playthrough. It was the first time I'd done a Dark Souls video since I think the first Dark Souls series lasted 5 videos, and I was miserable throughout most of it. But I really took to Dark Souls 2, and so I started a playthrough of Dark Souls 2. Not a good series, this first one. I think it took me like 16 episodes to fight the first boss, which I don't know how that's possible. But it's just nice to see that I hadn't given up on Dark Souls, because obviously it would become very, very important. On March 20th, 2015, Robbie posted the first episode of a solo series he did called Robbie's Game to Z, which is where he would challenge himself to play a new game 26 times, 1 for each letter of the alphabet, just to kind of get through some of his Steam backlog. And I still think that's such a clever idea for a series of videos, Game to Z. I think that's great. And I think it took about 2 years, but he did actually complete the full alphabet of games, which I think is very impressive. On April 7th, 2015, I uploaded what would become my most viewed video on YouTube, It was Don't Starve mod spotlight on a character called Caitlin the Ophelia. I don't really know why this video in particular took off. It was, I think, kind of near the tail end of the Don't Starve mod spotlights, definitely past the halfway point. But it really did just take off, and at the time of recording, it's very close to 600,000 views. So definitely the most viewed video on my YouTube channel. Don't know why it was that one, but it really took off. On May 13th, 2015, Robbie and I uploaded our very first video in GTA Online. This is another game that became very important to the channel. We played a lot of GTA Online, and this first video didn't have Whiskey Mongoose, but almost all of the subsequent videos, and there were a lot of them, did feature Whiskey. So just notable because that was the very first GTA video, and there ended up being quite a lot of them. On September 16th, 2015, Robbie, Whiskey, and I started a very short-lived co-op playthrough of Dark Souls.
My character's name is Big Twat.
Oh, that's amazing. My guy's called Big Knob Bob.
And my guy is Valerion.
Oh. I think we only did 3 videos, we only did 1 session of it. But it's interesting that before all the Dark Souls videos with Chris and Taylor, where I do a lot of Dark Souls co-op, just funny that it started off with a quick 3-episode series of Dark Souls with Robbie and Whiskey. And as I mentioned, October 31st, 2015, we did indeed return to our favorite game, Damned. JaRDev Fitz, the regular crew, played Damned once again for Halloween.
What the fuck was that?
Whoa.
Whoa!
Holy fuck!
Hello,
The fuck was
boys.
that?
Oh god, oh god,
I'm looking at you, you should go moving!
Spooky man's here.
That's freaky!
So janky, but so much fun together. Like I said, it did take a couple of years, but on May 11th, 2016, Robbie posted the final episode, or the final video in the series of Game to Z. Well done him for completing it, because it's a bit of a task, trying to find a new game to look at for every letter of the alphabet. Some of them, I think, for X or something like that, he had 2 choices or something. But yeah, I still think that's such a cool idea for a series. And then on May 28th, 2016, I posted the very first video with Chris and Taylor.
Oh, I was trying to get Bastion. I was trying to get him with my ulti and it didn't work. Good job, John.
What the fuck? I'm not John! Blade called me John yesterday too.
Dude,
really?
Sounded like John. It sounded like John on that one. I'm sorry, Chris.
What the fuck? I don't sound anything like Chris.
I know. What the fuck?
It started out with us just playing some Overwatch together after work one day. We wanted to record it, and look at where we are now, still playing games together. My god, 7 years later, pretty much. I actually met Chris and Taylor the year before, in the summer of 2015. The 3 of us worked a seasonal summer job at a garden center in Calgary called Sunnyside, and we were good friends when we were working together, but I remember we didn't really keep in touch that much after that summer. I think Chris and Taylor met up a couple of times at university after the summer, but other than that, we didn't talk too much. And then the next summer, we all wound up back at Sunnyside, and we kind of picked up like it hadn't been 8 months since we'd last seen each other. And obviously, I'm sure they knew I had a YouTube channel in the summer before, but this summer I asked them to start making videos with me, and we did the Overwatch After Dark series as kind of a test, and we were pretty happy recording together, and we just kept going from then. So I think now is a great time to hear from both Taylor and Chris.
So, funny story, and I know John may not want me to include this, and he's the editor, so we can always take it out. John, Chris, and I met at Sunnyside Garden Center. You know, in real life, we started working together as a summer job. Now, this is the part John might not want you to hear. He didn't like me at first. He thought, at least, okay, this is how I perceived it. He thought I was just some annoying little asshole who would not shut the fuck up. Now, I don't know if that's his actual impression of me or just what I thought it was. But yeah, he didn't like me at first. He liked Chris just fine. They got along okay. I was a pain in the ass. I mean, I still am, but that's besides the point. And it was definitely through making friends with Chris that John kind of, I think, accepted me a little bit more. It didn't help that, you know, Chris played Dark Souls, John played Dark Souls. I did not play Dark Souls, so I was a nobody, you know? He doesn't touch Dark Souls, get him out of my sight kind of a thing. He wasn't actually like that. John's a lovely man. I still didn't play Dark Souls, but Overwatch was popular at the time, and we were like, hey, let's try this out. And I pulled up the channel. You can look this up too on the channel right now. The Overwatch After Dark series with John, Chris, and Taylor. The titles are hilarious because any one of these titles could easily just describe almost any video we've ever made. Strong language and inappropriate humor, really embarrassing loss, soundtrack to victory, emergency drink run, and slightly racist. Just looking at that series of videos from 6 years ago. My god, how has it been 6 years? It's so funny looking back at that and just knowing that my mic was absolute ear cancer. Like, it was awful. It was so bad. But they somehow, for whatever reason, decided to keep me around, and then naturally moved on to Dark Souls 3 and other games from there. But yeah, funny enough, it's all started with a garden center and Overwatch. And I distinctly remember being called an Egyptian terrorist because I played Farah by Chris. So that was fun.
There's gonna be people like suicide bombing the pyramids.
Wow.
Wait, what?
What?
Taylor, what did you say?
You can't say that, Taylor.
What did I say?
It's culturally insensitive.
That's
I got
cultural
Farah?
appropriation.
What did I say? All I said is I got Farah. I didn't say anything beyond that.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, what did I do?
I got involved with the channel in 2016 after working with John and Taylor at Sunnyside, a shitty summer job that we also used to work at. This is our second year here, and we decided that since Dark Souls 3 had just come out that year and Taylor had never played a Dark Souls game before, that it'd probably be a lot of fun to play it together. I believe we also played Overwatch at that time, since that had come out fairly recently, but besides those one-off videos, Taylor and I became characters on the channel, so to speak, through the Dark Souls videos.
My favorite memory from the channel. This one is a hard one for me because, as some of you may know, as I stated, I've been on the channel for at least 6 years now, or at least a part of the channel, I should say. So it's really hard for me to kind of pick out, you know, a memory from 6 years worth of playing together, of, you know, doing stuff together. Because we've done a lot. We've done a lot of different things, from making Japanese candy kits, to ranking our favorite games, to playing a whole bunch of games, to, you know, going out and trying IRL content, having that not really be what we want to do. But I have to say, I think my favorite memory has to be the summer that we recorded our very first Stardew Valley series, because we recorded that up to 3 times a week. Now, we normally only record at most once a week, and quite often that becomes once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks because our schedules have just grown busier as we've grown older and gained more responsibility. But that summer, when we were all just working at Sunnyside, had no other responsibilities to go for, was just great. And don't get me wrong, I'm really happy with my life, but being able to play comfortably without ignoring other duties, Stardew Valley for three nights a week, for hours on end, and making a 52-part series. Oh god, that was insane. I think will forever just kind of stand out as a really memorable time for me and the channel. Like I said, there's far too many to pick from.
My favorite memory on the channel has to be our first Stardew Valley series. Every week we'd all jump into Discord, chill out for a few hours to basically do whatever we wanted in that game. Not only was it fun, I think it was some of the most candid talking we really ever did with each other and anything on the channel. It really was just a series of us like hanging out on a farm, and it was pretty amazing.
Now, as for my favorite video of the channel, I don't know if I could pick one. Like, truly, I genuinely don't know if I could sit here and scroll through every video that John has ever made, every video that I've been in, that I haven't been in, that Chris has been in, that Robbie's been in, but Fitz has been in, and you know, say with confidence that, hey, this is, like, this one video is my favorite. I've had so much fun recording 99% of these. There were some that were a little more not my speed, but I'm scrolling through this right now. I'm just looking at all these memories. I'm going back as far as I can. I remember our first Fortnite video, like that. God, imagine if we were a Fortnite channel. Sorry, I would actually die of cringe. Yeah, I don't think I could name a favorite video that I've been in or that John has done as a whole. I think his History of Persona video is phenomenal. I think a lot of his videos are phenomenal, but that one especially stands out to me for the amount of research, script writing, and effort that John put in, because he normally doesn't do that. And that's not to say that his videos are lacking in quality, but this one just went above and beyond his usual. So maybe that one, it's hurt that I'm not the biggest fan of Persona. I know John's gonna like rake me over the coals for that. No, he won't. But yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't think I could name a favorite video from the channel, because they're all so good. You know, they're all, in air quotes, they're all made with passion behind them. You know, I think everything that we record together has passion behind it. I think most of the stuff that John does has passion behind it. And sometimes you just gotta pay the bills, you know? Sometimes you gotta meet that quota. But truly, I could not, nay, I will not name a favorite video from the channel, because I think they all deserve a watch. They all deserve their time in the spotlight for different reasons. And they're all gonna appeal to different people. So truly, thank you all for coming with us on this journey, being part of the what once was JaRDev, it is now Noiseberry Games channel. It's been a hell of a ride, and I know it's coming to an end at some point, likely some point soon, and I'm okay with that. You know, I think that I have made some fantastic lifelong friends that, you know, obviously aren't going to go away after the channel. John, please don't leave me. But it may be time for us to move on to different things. I don't know, and I haven't discussed any of this with John. He's going to be listening to this for the first time while editing it and going, what in the hell is he talking about? But thank you for sticking around this long, and I hope you'll be here until the end.
I think it has to be the Dark Souls 3 first series highlights video. It's probably the most fun video of us there is on the channel. Back then, recording was like completely different. There was no plan or anything. It was almost unhinged. I think it really comes through in the highlights video that we really didn't have like a set flow or any rules. It was just a ton of fun, and I think that really comes through in that video.
Once Chris and Taylor joined the channel, there weren't really many more changes to come in the channel's history. Obviously, there's a big one still to come with the name change, but the format of the channel kind of has stayed the same since around the time Chris and Taylor joined. So we're almost caught up now, but there's still a few things I'd like to highlight from the channel's history. At the end of 2017, Robbie and I went on a 2-week trip to Japan together, and we decided to vlog our entire trip. And on February 3rd, 2018, we posted the very first Japan vlogs video. Robbie, we're in Japan.
We're in Japan!
That trip to Japan with Robbie is one of the favorite things, one of my favorite things I've ever done in my life. It was an amazing trip. Super fun to go there with Robbie and explore Japan. And I'm so glad we vlogged the whole thing. I think if we were to do the trip nowadays, we wouldn't bother vlogging it. But 5 years ago, we were willing to do that. And I've said in other videos before, but I'm really glad we did, because it was almost a once in a lifetime trip. I'd like to think that we'll probably get there again, but it wouldn't be just the two of us. We probably wouldn't go together. So just the fact that I can relive our entire trip through these videos is very valuable to me. As Chris and Taylor both mentioned, on May 7th, 2018, the three of us uploaded the very first episode of our Stardew Valley multiplayer series. Okay, I've gathered some things from the beach.
Cool. Nice. Give them to Leah. She loves trash.
Well, she's gonna love me.
Oh, shit.
This was an absolutely ridiculous series. It spanned 52 episodes. We started recording it basically as soon as multiplayer was introduced to Stardew Valley, so we were right on top of this big new trend. And I think we all three of us had a lot of free time that summer, and we really did get to record it for three or four times a week, 2 to 3 hours every time. So there was so much footage available for this, and I was able to start editing it right away and releasing episodes right away. Just a ridiculous series, like 52 episodes of highly edited videos was huge. It was so much work, but I'm so proud of that series. In late May of 2018, the channel hit 20,000 subscribers, and I obviously did not have much of a plan for this because the celebratory video was me going through a McDonald's drive-thru and just talking a little bit. And that was really the last major subscriber milestone, and probably the last one there will be unless something crazy happens anytime soon. I don't think it's gonna reach 30,000 subscribers. On February 15th, 2019, I uploaded the very last Don't Starve mod spotlight. It was a spotlight on a Dark Souls character, Slave Knight Gale. I only did it at the time because it was Dark Souls, and I just kind of thought it'd be funny to do one final mod spotlight out of nowhere, years since the last one, and that was the very last one. On July 28th, 2019, I uploaded my very first fully scripted video. It was the video 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before Playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I remember I worked really hard on this video, spent ages writing a script for it in like an actual Word document, first time I'd ever done it for a video. And I remember by the time I'd finished recording it and editing it, it was something like 9.5 minutes. And at the time, you needed videos to be over 10 minutes to get the full ad revenue from them. Nowadays, it's just 8 minutes. But back then it was 10 minutes. And I tweaked a couple of things here and there, and I got it to exactly 10 minutes and 1 second. And I'm so glad I did, because that video has been a top earner for me for years now. It did really well, which was a relief because it took a ton of work. But as of right now, it's got almost 125,000 views, which is massive. I actually don't know the exact date this happened, but around May, June 2021 is when the channel rebranded from JaRDev to Noiseberry Games, and it's been Noiseberry Games ever since. In fact, it must have been between May 21st and May 23rd, because the video on May 21st has the JaRDev Patreon link in it in the description, and the video on May 23rd has the Noiseberry Games Patreon link in the description. So right there is when it happened, presumably. When the channel first started as JaRDev, it was just myself and Robbie making videos, so the Jar in JaRDev stood for John and Robbie. Over time, I recorded with lots of different people, and Robbie got a lot less involved in the channel, and it really was mostly me doing solo stuff and me recording with Chris and Taylor and occasionally other people. So I wanted to rename it to something that was more inclusive and better represented what the channel was doing at that point. So I remember I discussed it with Chris and Taylor. We kind of joked around about we should rebrand it, and then the idea kind of stuck with me, and we decided we would go for it. And Chris just randomly came up with the idea Noiseberry Games, thought it was a cool little combination of words. Taylor and I both loved it, and we've kept it ever since. And I still love the name. I still love all the beautiful channel art that was made for me by my YouTube network. Very happy with it all. On July 24th, 2021, I uploaded my second ever scripted video. This was my video on the history of Persona. This was another video that took so much work to make. I wrote an entire script for it. I researched everything in the video for it. Wrote this massive Word document. It was something like 5,600 words or something crazy. Recorded the whole thing, recorded footage of all of these different Persona games myself so that I wouldn't run into any like copyright issues. And again, all the hard work really did pay off. It was kind of a slow starter, but at the time of recording, over the past couple of months, it's kind of doubled in views, and it seems to be going up. It seems to be ranking very well on YouTube searches and stuff. So it's just nice to see that the two videos I scripted and worked for ages on and worked really hard, that they both did really well views-wise. It's it's quite rewarding. And that pretty much brings us to the present day, to the 10th anniversary of this YouTube channel. The channel really found its niche of content, I think, over the past 5 or so years, which is probably why this video is mostly focused on the first 5 years, the first half of this channel's life. But I'm very, very happy with the content that goes up on the channel now. I'm very, very happy with the rate of videos, the number of videos. I'm still really enjoying working on the channel, which is pretty impressive after 10 years, I think. So that wraps up the history part of this video, and let's go back to me for the wrap-up outro. Hooray! What a celebratory video we just had there. That was a terrible sound. That one's not going anymore. Good sound on that one. I hope you enjoyed the documentary, the sort of documentary video that we just saw. This video is probably already long enough, so I won't keep you any longer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching it. If you made it all the way to the end here, thank you very much for supporting the channel, whether you've been here since the very start. I don't think anybody's been here since the very start. That would be wild. Or if you've only just joined, thank you very much for all your support over the years. One last time with feeling. Very good sound. Bye. Happy anniversary. Happy. Oh, fuck my hat. Happy. Fuck me. Now, here at Noiseberry Games, we often get asked, what kind of sound does a Noiseberry make? And we're very pleased today to be able to share with you the first recorded sound of a Noiseberry. There you have it, the Noiseberry.